Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 reveals that some members of his house test positive to COVID-19. And Katsina State Governor confirms that 333 students are still missing out of the 839 attacked at the Government Science Secondary School, Kankara. These and more on Panorama this Monday. I'm Yen Ray John. Thank you for joining us. We'll begin with the pandemic. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has revealed that some members of his household tested positive for COVID-19 Saturday evening. The SGF in a statement, however, notes that himself and his wife tested negative, but he will remain in self-isolation and work from home, according to protocols by the health authorities. The PTF chairman says his family members who are positive are currently asymptomatic, but have been isolated and are receiving care in one of the government's treatment centers. He advises Nigerians to adhere to all public health and safety measures in order to safeguard the gains made in the fight against COVID-19. The SGF reaffirms that COVID-19 is real and that increase in cases being reported across several states by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) should compel citizens to take personal responsibility to protect themselves and the nation. Meanwhile, 418 new cases of COVID-19 infections have been recorded in Nigeria within the past 24 hours. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control says the new infections were discovered in 16 states and the FCT, bringing the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria to 73,175. Lagos State has 113 of the new cases. 86 are in FCT, 47 in Abuja, 39 in Kaduna, 27 in Rivers and 22 in Katsina. Benue has 14 new cases, 13 in Oyo, 12 in Kano, 8 in Enugu, 7 each in Edo and Imo states, 6 each in Bauchi, Ebonyi and Ogun states, 4 in Ondo and 1 case in Nasarawa. Lagos leads on the state's chart with 24,952 COVID-19 cases, followed by FCT with 8,424 cases, while Plateau trails with 3,997 cases. Active cases nationwide have increased to 5,888, with 6,090 recovered patients discharged, while the death toll has risen to 1,197. As the second wave of COVID-19 looms, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has ordered the reactivation of testing and sample collection centers across Kano State. This was after receiving an update from the state's technical response team. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
Following the deployment of various response strategies, Kano State was able to flatten the pandemic curve with less than 10 active cases as of November 2020. With the recent spike in the number of cases across Nigeria, Kano's positivity rate is also rising. More than 80 new cases and 2 deaths were recorded in December. This is against 71 infections recorded between September and November.
Enforcement can go to certain extent, but people need to comply with instruction.
Against this background, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje ordered the reactivation of testing and sample collection centers across the state and the recall of volunteer workers to the COVID-19 response team.
So that we take this fight back to community level. If we do that, I think we are reversing the equation.
Observance of COVID-19 protocols, he stressed, must be ensured in all public places to prevent further transmission of the viral disease. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has placed all those that participated in the recent Chief of Army Staff Conference in Abuja on isolation following the death of Major General John Laring. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Sergei Musa says, as of Sunday, 13th December 2020, 417 personnel were tested with 27 confirmed positive cases. The statement says Nigeria Center for Disease Control recommended COVID-19 treatment drugs and are being used to treat those that tested positive. Similarly, officers and soldiers at the Army headquarters are being tested and COVID-19 protocols being strictly enforced across all units and formations of the Nigerian Army, while the headquarters complex was fumigated on Saturday, 12th December 2020. In other news, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says he is deeply saddened over the sudden death of Sam Nda Isaiah, the chairman and publisher of leadership newspapers. He described late Sam Isaiah as a personal, loyal and invaluable friend who had passion for community and nation building. The SGF said he recalled with fondness the support received by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 from the leadership newspaper in the areas of risk communication and community engagement, which contributed immensely to the awareness created amongst Nigerians. He prayed that the Almighty shall grant his dear wife, family members, the leadership newspaper, the media industry, friends and associates the fortitude to bear the loss. Professional development, enhanced leadership, capacity and entrepreneurship are strategies that will enhance nursing profession in Nigeria to meet international best practices. This was the thrust of a conference of nurses and midwives in the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital to celebrate the recognition of the outstanding contributions of nurses to healthcare service delivery. Ifoma Aihoje has details.
The World Health Organization had declared 2020 as the Global Year for Nurses and Midwives, and the UUTH branch of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives rolled out the drums to celebrate the global recognition. Though challenged by the COVID-19 crisis, these frontline workers adjudged their care roles in the year under review as remarkable.
The anticipation of the entire world to unite and celebrate us is because of the benefit we bring to health globally.
So there is much to celebrate in nursing. We have good in us. In our profession, I will say, we are the extended hands of God.
Other health stakeholders extolled the contributions of nurses towards actualizing the Millennium Development Goals and encouraged them to explore their potentials, raise their bar, and take care duties to an enviable height.
Healthcare is about empathy. Half of what the patient requires is you to show that concern and try to take care of the patient.
Wishing that all of us will be part of the change for good for you as an individual and good for the service you will render to the people.
We have the time, we have the life to correct whatever anomalies that was made by our forebears.
To crown their WHO declared year, nurses and midwives of the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital re-strategized ways to face the challenges of the coming year, promising to nurse the world to health. In Uyo, Ifoma Aihoje, NTA News.
And away from health, Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari has confirmed that 333 students are still missing out of the total number of 839 students attacked at the Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, on Saturday night. He made this known when a federal government delegation led by the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Saliki Magashi, paid sympathy visit to Katsina State. The governor said authorities are in contact with the parents of the missing students to inform security personnel whenever their children return home directly. Governor Masari also said efforts have been intensified to secure the release of the missing students. Zamfara State Police Command has reacted to the purported attack on the Sokoto State Mass Transit bus and kidnapping of the passengers on board at Kwashbawa village in Zurmi local government area of the state. A statement issued by the command public relations officer Superintendent of Police Shehu Musa described a video that went viral on the purported attack as a fiction of imagination by mischief makers who derive pleasure in spreading rumors to instill fear into the minds of the citizenry. According to the statement, the true position of things was that the said mass transit bus conveying passengers from Sokoto to Katsina developed a mechanical fault along Zurmi-Jibia Road, and the passengers became apprehensive. Hence, they decided to take to flight, leaving the bus and their luggage. The statement further says, on receiving the information, the police in Zurmi town rushed to the scene and conveyed all the passengers' luggages to police station for safekeeping. The passengers later emerged and claimed their luggages, which they left behind. Still on security, troops of Operation Lafia Dole have eliminated over 20 Boko Haram terrorists that attempted to attack Askira Uba in Borno State. A statement by the Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Division, Maiduguri, Colonel Ado Issa, says the terrorists suspected to have come from Sambisa Forest mounted over 15 gun trucks approached the town from different directions simultaneously. Colonel Issa notes that 4 gun trucks were captured from the criminals, while others were destroyed by the air task force that responded swiftly. Anti-aircraft guns, 2 PKT machine guns, 10 AK-47 rifles, and 13 rockets-propelled grenade RPG bombs are among arms recovered from the encounter. One soldier, however, paid the supreme sacrifice. In other news, troops of Operation Wellstroke have raided some identified bandits' hideouts at Tamata Ugba and Kundi villages in Mbache Council Ward of Katsina Ala local government area of Benue State, following intelligence reports. A statement by the Coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John NTA, indicates that troops engaged the criminals by forcing them to flee in disarray, killed 3, apprehended 4, while several arms were recovered, including a military camouflage uniform. The military requests the public to continue to provide credible information to the troops operating within their areas. The Directorate of Defense Media Operations, DMO, says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has recorded more successes in its air campaign against Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast of the country. DMO Coordinator Major General John NTA says the latest of these was achieved through a strike executed on 10th December 2020 at Indimia on the fringes of the Sambisa Forest in Borno State. Nigerian Air Force fighter jets and helicopter gunships engaged the location, resulting in the neutralization of several BHTs as well as damage to their structures. After a series of aerial surveillance missions showed an upsurge of activities in the settlement. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended officers and soldiers of Guards Brigade for the high level of discipline and professionalism exhibited in the year 2020. The president, represented by his chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, gave the commendation at the Guards Brigade 2020 West Africa Social Activity. Wasa defense correspondent Ismail Musa, who was at the Mambila Barracks in Abuja, venue of the event, has details.
Tug of war, a physical exercise, a dominant feature of the annual West African social activities known as Wasa. Wasa is an age-long tradition of the Nigerian Army, marking the end of training activities for the year. It also provides an avenue for the authority to reward excellence and gallantry in the force.
Wasa is further used to promote esprit de corps with other security agencies who are also invited to the ceremony.
Guard brigades are done very well within the year in ensuring that the Federal Capital Territory remains peaceful, in addition to their enormous responsibility of safeguarding Mr. President, the first family, and the conduct of ceremonial duties.
Nigeria's diverse rich cultural heritage was showcased, including the electrifying Lupe Waist dance. Yes. The event also featured project inauguration. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
If you just joined us, you're watching Panorama live on the network service of the NTA. Time for a break. Do stay. Thank you for staying. The federal government is training 20,000 youths in various skills to participate fully in the Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project. Joshua Ojito reports that the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, is facilitating the training under the Local Content Development Initiative.
The pool of unemployed youth in the country, 20,000 from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, are to be trained as part of the workforce that will be engaged in the construction of Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project. They will be trained on electrical house wiring, ICT essentials, plumbing and pipe fitting for plants and buildings, catering management, as well as mastering and bricklaying.
Where the youths are idle and they are not doing anything, what do you expect of them? Violence. But with this initiative, it will keep them busy.
4 weeks is the duration of the training to produce manpower relevant to the Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project. Minister of Power Saleh Mamman flags off the program in Jalingo, with the selection process to be carried out online.
I am hopeful that with your kind support, the ESET program will succeed and will empower our teeming youth with skill to be self-reliant and potential entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir. Will definitely enhance human capital development among our youths.
NAPTIN is well prepared, to run these, programs to a very, very successful, end.
The Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project is expected to create 50,000 local jobs during the construction phase. In Jalingo, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Saleh Mamman, has assured Nigerians of adequate provision of prepaid meters so as to address challenges of meter deficit, generate more revenue and enhanced development. He stated this in Yola while flagging off National Mass Metering Program. Ryan Bala reports.
Adequate provision of prepaid meters for electricity consumers is said to be one of the major challenges faced by the distribution companies this course in raising funds to meet up with the mandate of providing sustainable electricity to Nigerians. With the grant of over 5 billion naira soft loan to Yola Electricity Distribution Company to purchase more meters is expected to close those gaps and ensure steady electricity supply. The Minister of Power, Saleh Mamman, says over 85,000 meters will now be distributed to electricity consumers under Yola Electricity Distribution Company, which is also expected to have efficiency in revenue generation. He reiterated federal government's determination to provide Nigerians with adequate electricity supply to boost the economy and enhance development.
The intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria in the provision of long-term low interest funds to the DISCO is a boon to the sector.
Both the chairman, board of directors, Yola Electricity Distribution Company, Ayo Belei, and the managing director of the company, Baba Umar Mustafa, assured consumers of timely distribution of the meters and best services.
This is where Mr. President has come to the aid of Nigerians to say, well, the best thing to do is to be accountable, that we as electricity company will must be accountable to consumers, and as such, we must meter them.
In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
And away from the power sector, a workshop in learning Arabic language has opened in Abuja, organized by the Embassy of the United Arab Emirates to commemorate the UN World Arabic Language Day. Anthony Forson brings us details.
The UN Arabic Language Day is observed annually on the 18th of December. The event was established by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization in 2010. The idea is to celebrate multilingualism and cultural diversity, as well as to promote equal use of all 6 official languages through the United Nations. And so, at this workshop, organized by the Embassy of the United Arab Emirates, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed noted that the event, apart from being instructive, given the current global interest in the establishment of latest diplomatic approachment between nations and the renewed zeal to combat violent extremism, as well as promote pluralism and multiculturalism, Arabic language has become key in diplomatic, scholarly, and cultural circles because it has been well positioned.
In other words, Arabic language is one of the ancient and earliest known languages to mankind. It is unique and renowned for its rich diglossia and employed on a daily basis as a medium of spiritual and theistic interaction between God and adherents of Islam, who number over 1.8 billion people.
In Nigeria, the minister said Arabic language has been extolled for its contribution to national development.
In addition to functioning as a storehouse of the nation's history and indeed that of Africa, the language is spoken by the Shua Arabs, an ethnic stock in the northeast of the country, with cultural and historical affiliation to the wider Bakara tribe in East Africa.
The Emirati ambassador to Nigeria, Fahad Al-Tafak, said the Arabic language has remained a pillar of cultural diversity and humanity because it is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world.
As a prominent form of global expression, the Arabic language is celebrated for its diversity, which ranges from oral expressions to poetic calligraphy. Its fascinating aesthetics and historical achievements in various fields such as architecture, mathematics, science, poetry, philosophy, and arts.
He maintained that Arabic language has played a prominent role in the emergence of civilization with its links to other languages. There was a presentation on diversity of the Arabic language by Dr. Fayez Abdelal and another on Arabic and Arabists in Nigeria by Professor El-Kadir Abdubak. They all alluded to the fact that continuous struggle and persistent support for the language is not for the sake of the Arabs, but to defend civilizational legacy of Africa. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Let's now have a bit of sports as Liverpool earned a point at Fulham in a 1-1 draw with the same result obtained in the Crystal Palace and Tottenham match. Also on EPL, Southampton beat Sheffield United 3-0. And Manzi Marcus will feed us with more details.
Nigerian-born British boxer Anthony Joshua weekend retained his IBF, WBA and WBO heavyweight titles after a 9th-round knockout of challenger Kubrat Pulev of Bulgaria at Wembley Arena in London. Boxing fans around the world are already looking forward to a historic fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, the WBC champion. Whoever has the belts I want to compete with, if that is Tyson Fury, let it be Tyson Fury, said the 31-year-old Joshua. Fury responded, I want the fight next. I will knock him out inside 3 rounds. I can't wait to knock him out. Fury's United Kingdom promoter Frank Warren believes the Joshua-Fury fight will be the biggest UK sporting event since the 1966 FIFA World Cup final at Wembley Stadium in London. In golf, Ben Okoko of IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja is winner of the Save the Lives charity golf tournament with the team Health for All, Protect Everyone. Correspondent Clement Oloruntoba reports that Okoko, the overall winner, returned 88 gross and 72 net to beat about 150 other competitors in the one-day event.
Anything somebody goes out of his way to do for the sake of the generality of the people, for those who are underprivileged, is something that should be really, really applauded. So we should use this day to talk about how we can best assist the less privileged, those that cannot afford, especially these health bills.
In a related development, about 30 ministries, departments and agencies will compete in the 2020 Federation of Public Service Games in Kano from December 14 to 20. NTA is competing in badminton, football, table tennis, tennis and chess. Meanwhile, the Italian Answer News agency reports that the home of Italy's best attacking player of all time, Paolo Rossi, was burgled during his funeral in Vicenza with a watch belonging to the late footballer and money stolen. Teammates from the 1982 World Cup winning squad carried his coffin to the Santa Maria Annunziata Cathedral before the burial of the late Azzurri, Vicenza and Juventus striker. With sports update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
Speak up, take action, and let's put an end to rape. That's Panorama this Monday. Thank you for watching. I'm Ian Ray John.